I am lost, Mother, in the spaces you leave behind. I cannot even see a shadow there to follow. I have no way to comfort you in the empty room your mind now is. Doors and windows shut, blinds hung, closed.
I don't think I have Alzheimer's. My memory is my own, and I'm going to keep it.
As you can tell, Crossing Arcs is built in two parts. My poetry, faced by my mother's comments on illness, on aging, on her situation as an Alzheimer's sufferer. She made these comments when I read her the poems that were brought together to make this book, my 9th book, by the way. And the comments that are in here were so interesting that as she began making them, I never thought they were going to be part of the book. But as she began making them, I started to write them down. And by the time the book was becoming almost ready to publish, I had about 40 or 50 of these very strong comments from my mother, who is quite a character, as you will see. And I thought, the book is not what I thought it was going to be. It's going to have to include this material. So I've interwoven the pieces through. I'm going to read straight through a set of poems chosen from the different sections of the book. And I think you'll be able to tell which is me and which is my mother. Even though some of my poems quote my mom, her comments, which are verbatim. They are exactly what she said. So the poems are an artistic construct. The comments are right to the reality. I'll simply say that this book is in 3 parts. The first part is set at a summer house of ours in Nova Scotia, where we go to spend some time. And my mother has come every year to visit us there. So there are a few poems from there. The second part is set in the residence where she now lives, and interestingly chose herself to move into that residence. What a gift to us. And the third section examines in a little more detail the implications of her illness on my life and how it affects me. What we don't say. I snap off the radio. She's coming downstairs. Why can't I stay? Picks up a tea towel and cup from the rack. I have nothing to go back for. Because I'm already worn out. Because when you're here, I can do nothing else but answer your questions, find what you've lost, fix what you've broken. Remember not to say, I told you that before. Because watching you stumble down steps over pebbles trips me over myself. Because there's too much to do, no time for any fun. She frowns at the counter, slaps down her towel. Why does everyone think I can't do anything anymore? Don't tell me I'm useless. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it, she says. Just make the job simple, easy. Just provide tools and supplies, old clothes she can get dirty, tea every hour. Don't ask her to make decisions, this color or that. Don't step out of sight. Don't leave her dangling, unsure what to do next. Don't think out loud. And when she tells you of the sketches she's made of the hayfield, don't say, you never did them. Mom, please understand. We want to spend a few weeks together and alone. Together, alone. Alone like me, she doesn't say. I drive her to the airport, Watch as she's wheeled up the ramp, through the gate, to be flown back to her room, the nurses, the cleaning staff. Fuck, I say to the lounge full of travelers, children. Sweet Mother of Jesus, fuck. But just look out. Watch me. That's what's got me through all the major crises of my life, is my anger. And I refuse to feel guilty about it. Crossing arcs. Don't be ridiculous, it's far too big for me. I hold the bathing suit up to my chest and see she's right. Somehow we've slipped along crossing arcs. As I curve into middle age, she slides into old. I pull the suit on, have to yank and stretch. The one I've given her gapes at the legs, sags at the waist. In the water, I pause as we splash through the shallows, reach for her hand. It's a good time to write poems about this, because there are so many old people around. It'll give them a feeling they're not alone. Hay bales. The meadow beyond the window changes day by day, from high grass to first mowing, to raking, to bales. I could paint that, she says. Each day tells me how she would layer the scene in yellows and grays. On the last day of her visit, she dwells on each bale, describes each shadow, how it turns with the sun. I do not lift the paper from the bookshelf nearby, the pencils and felt pens that have waited every day. She does not ask. If only my mind didn't fill with pictures, the colors, the layers, then I could let go. It closes like a heart. Her words are all questions now. When am I leaving? Who's going to meet me? What was I doing? I was working on something. Everything she starts, she drops halfway through. In the last few days, I nudge her towards the dresser she began the first year. She settles with her rags and cans, wipes off the old paint as gently as if the swirled wood underneath were skin. Look at this. Look how the wood is cut to match the panels across the front of the drawers. How beautiful it is. It closes like a heart. That night, she stays up to finish the final sanding. We roll the dresser back, ready for next year, when she says she'll rub it with 3 coats of oil. Where are we going? She asks yet again, as we head towards home. And he answers her again. As we drive down the highway, he answers her in detail, again and again and again. It's living in the now. It's a pocket memory. I know I'm here because you're here. Refusing the bait. Suddenly, over a supper of haddock and greens, "Why won't you let me finish what I'm saying?" she snaps at him. "You act like I'm stupid and old. And you never listen. Why are you always telling me what to do? I can look after myself." I'm stuck, fork in air,
mushroom dripping sauce. Of course you can, he tells her. You tell her off. Your daughter's always been bossy. The arguments they've had for so many years about science and religion and politics and art are done. He no longer leaps into the fray, refuses any bait, speaks as he does to me when I cry. I don't want to go back, she says to him then. Don't worry, he tells her. Stay as long as you want. You don't have to leave. There's no rush at all. I had to get angry. There's anger or fear, and I chose anger. Anger is what keeps you alive. Leaving summer behind. We drive away from summer through 2 days of trees, trees and mud, mud and trees in a dull repeat. Bare racks on hard scrabble against a metal sky, scriven by pepper toss of starlings, jag of geese, hunch of raven on stump and dead tip. Each field shakes gulls into the air, crows rankle in ditches, hawks drop so fast towards rodents in the straw, they seem to leave contrails etched on the grey. Every year they build nests, all those birds. I thought she was asleep, dozing in the back on the pillows and bags. Thousands and thousands of nests. By spring, the trees will all be empty again. What happens to the nests when winter comes? Where did it go, that painting of the woods with the ochre trees? Did I give it away like the other ones? Survival. I'm going to move to a retirement home. I've had enough. We've been mentioning the idea for months, showing her ads, but it's she who decides, her own decision made all in one day. Right now, I don't want to ever carry bags up steps again, take out the garbage, shovel snow from the walk. I don't want to cook even one more meal. She doesn't have to think about it. Something inside, some careful, wary beast, watches all the time, watches out for itself, for her, its lair. I made the choice because no one else could. This is now. What else can I do? Hands. She takes off her boots, coat still buttoned, turns from the hall into the apartment she left a week before. One final trip to pick up a few final things. Steps through the arch into the living room. Her hands come together, fold around each other as if against cold. The couch is gone. Her lamp, her chair. The floor a mess of movers' tracks. A few more steps. She stops, bends her head into my shoulder. I put my arms around her. Her hands between us, still closed around something no one can hold. Acceptance and loss. Holding on to life and what it was. Diagnosis. Have I had a stroke? Is that what happened to me? It's Alzheimer's, Mum. Did I know that? Did you tell me? Yes, we went to the doctor. Do you remember what he said? No, I don't remember. I'm losing my memory, you know. It's very annoying. Makes me furious. But I'm going to beat it. I'm not going to give in. I'm getting better every day. I smooth her hair. She used to push me off. Did I have a stroke? Is that what happened to me? I'm an animated film without a story. Skeletoning down. What use is a label? This season, type 2, next OCD or Alzheimer's, all glowers to fill a garden of named despair. No animal would bother. A dog struck by sugar shock simply lies down. A cat with a growing cancer creeps away mute. Words birth guilt, blame, remorse. When all this really is one way to fall, leaf among leaves, skeletoning down. So they finally put a fancy name onto something that we considered to be just getting old. Nuts to this. My mind is not going to play games with me. Who does it think it is? I am imagining myself old. I am imagining myself old because she's not what she was. I haul my 5 decades hand by hand up the stairs, listen anxiously to my heartbeat, shy away from salt, spices, sugar, wine, lie late into the day, wondering how many more I have left. This is not what she does. Faced by clear decay in a diminished, sunless space, she covers the walls with her paintings, the shelves with her pottery and books, grabs every bit of life that blunders her way. My grandmother lived to 103. This is not true, but what use are facts? My health is fine. I'm healthy as a pig in rut. Just let me get a man. Too bad most of the men here are old. Sign of respect. Afraid she's fallen or had a stroke when she doesn't answer my knock, I have the nurse unlock her door, ignoring with a daughter's disdain the clearly written post-it, "Do not disturb," in her school teacher hand, stuck above the knob, and can only laugh with surprise and a kind of relief and delight to see 2 bare bodies half rise on the bed as I step in. Sorry, I back out fast. Who gave me the right to breach a shut door? What made me sure age had smothered that flame? I may be losing my memory, but it's a discriminating memory. I have things you will never know, no matter what I remember or forget. There are places in my mind where you can never go. Comfort. The novels I read close comfort around me. The poems I write scratch trails through my gut, like a cat who's swallowed a thread of wire and tries to tooth it out. Isn't that what poetry is supposed to do, she says? Enlighten, point out, sharpen perception? This is a failing mind? In my room and hers, books cover the floor. One good thing, I love reading. I read a book a day. And then I finish the book and close it and say to myself, I wonder what that was all about. So I read it again. Means I can read every book 5 times. Letter to myself. If this happens to me, I will kill myself. I don't mean to let the words out. And with my daughters, manage to refrain. But to him, they slip out suddenly through cracks in conversation, at stopped moments in halls. Nights, I plan the method that will cause least pain, look most like an accident. Google has thousands of recipes, but not one is certain. Not scotch and pills and winter, they say you vomit it up. Not slipping through a hole in ice, someone is always watching. And which backyard, which lake will I choose to forever poison for those left behind? There will be no more words, not even, I'm not sorry. I've got my pictures and my couch. Everything has a story. I remember that couch in the window of the second-hand store. It glowed orange and gold. And that little table, I found it at the side of the road. I glued it together, redid a whole panel. This is what's left, and it's not bad. Having grieved enough for now. What does it mean? Is it just a bad joke? I hold all that's happened up to my eyes as if it were jumbled in a child's kaleidoscope. Turn the tube through tumbles of yellow, red, blue, shards and slivers and fragments in a cracked cascade that clink into place after place after place with a small glass hiss. Why her? Why this? I turn and turn. Each burst is different, each unrelated to the one before. What I put in at the end is the window, as if you could get through to the other side.